From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick, and today I'm joined by...
Tina Previs.
And Tina's here because we have a lot of your, I think, things that you'd be very interested in to chat about today. So we had to have you on the show because we are doing the Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber beef has heated up again. This time it's on them, so we're going to get into that. No more blaming the people for bringing it up. Plus, a very fancy red carpet happened over the weekend. It seems that Los Angeles is trying to steal the title of most fashionable event from the Met Gala. So we're going to get into that, the best and worst dress, and one very surprising look. But first, you had a very important news story that you wanted to bring to the table.
Over the weekend, Friday Lives dominated my feed with the Sydney and Brisbane shows, still to come in Perth and Melbourne, but I've never seen anything like it. Had an incredible lineup, Mariah Carey, Wiz Khalifa, and most notably Pitbull. I have never seen more people dressed up in ball caps, business shirts and blazers, and the hardcore fans had mustaches drawn on. I love the commitment to the bit.
Yeah, I wasn't aware. Like, obviously, I know people love Pitbull, but I wasn't aware how much Australian audiences just love this man and the rush on bald caps that everyone was getting into. It was on, like, not just on all my social feeds. It was even on, like, primetime news. They had people down at all, like, the train stations, and it's just, like, at Central Station in Sydney, just a sea of people in bald caps.
I'm
like,
absolutely...
I wonder if has he had a resurgence with, like, the younger gen, or you think this is, like, the diehard Pitbull, like, people in their 30s and 40s?
I think there's definitely a resurgence, and it was something that I've even seen him comment online, you know, after having such a long career. It's, you know, it's significant that he is having this resurgence and seeing the fans show up in this way. And I think it also speaks to how fan experience is becoming a big part of going to concerts, like obviously with Taylor Swift, all the Swifties with their sequined outfits and like friendship bracelets. It's becoming much more of like a sense of community.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's why with the whole Taylor Swift movie release that came out to celebrate her album launch was pretty much just lyric videos on the screen and like a bit of her chatting about the songs and then a music clip. That's all it was. But the reason so many fans went to the cinema is they just wanted to recreate how they felt at the Eras tour. So everyone was like dressed up in their outfits, giving out the friendship bracelets, just wanting to be in the cinema together. Like, people are craving community. I just didn't know there was a Pitbull community. Actually, the first time I knew about the fandom, just didn't know about the outfits. Yeah. The first I heard of all this was our producer Manisha was like all a fluster at the end of last week because she had friends coming into town. She had to go buy her bald cap. And this is the first time I heard the bald cap.
It's a whole thing.
And I said to Manisha, I'm like, are you allowed to, is that offensive? And she was like, no. Then she
the
got
bald
defensive.
community.
Yeah. She was like, no,
out.
Pitbull loves it. Did that live up to your hype, Manisha? How did you look at a bald cap, first of all? I haven't seen a pic.
Well, interestingly, bring the bald cap. I'd left it a bit late and I felt like everyone had already organised.
I actually checked.
Sold out, but
yeah, so fair.
I went to my local bottle store. So this is a real lesson in supporting independent because when we bought alcohol, they gave us bald caps.
What?
They gave us bald caps that said Fireball whiskey
no
on
way.
them because his song Fireball.
Oh, man, his branding is off the charts at the moment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't commit to the point of the people who like went there. I just put it on during Pitbull. I was like, I don't get Jordan Sparks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wonder what the other performers, like Jordan's on stage trying to sing her music and then just looks out
That's
and sees
what I was thinking,
all these
sea of
bald
baldies.
cats.
And Pitbull calls them his baldies as well. Like, he's got a name. He has an affectionate
cute
name for them, which I love.
He shouted us out. He was like, thank you, baldies. I think he's quite a deep man, like when you think about it. No, he kind
There's
of...
layers to it.
He crosses between musician and motivational speaker. Like,
wow.
In between his songs, he'll do a little like thing, and he talked about how he like built this school overseas.
I'm sensing
he's
you had a
quite deep.
life-altering occasion over the weekend.
It really was. I was just, every time he would go away and then come back out on stage, I was like, thank God it's not over. Like, thank God this set is not over. And then everyone started leaving before Mariah Carey.
Okay, this is what I need to hear
this.
about because I didn't hear this story until you guys were chatting about it today. So I would have thought Mariah would have been like one of the main events. Did you stay and watch her or did you leave?
I stayed. So Mariah was the last.
That's the correct thing to do, just so you know.
Exactly. I was like, guys, this is rude. She's an icon. Like, we stay for Mariah. But she came on last because I don't reckon she would have agreed to do a pre-show.
That doesn't
for
feel her
Pitbull.
style.
But people were leaving. All the baldies were kind of scurrying out. I will say she was... People always talk about how Mariah Carey, obviously she's a beautiful voice, but can be a little bit awkward on stage at the moment. Like, she was doing some weird walking around. Like, that was all quite interesting.
But what do you mean? Did she kind of just look like a bit out of it, or did she just sound like she didn't really care?
She looked pretty out of it.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
Maybe the jet lag got her.
Yeah. I think it might have. But interestingly, she didn't do All I Want for Christmas Is You in her Brisbane show, but she did in the Sydney show, and everyone was so excited. I had actually been like, okay, it's over. She's leaving, went to go to the bathroom. I'm in the line for the bathroom. I hear the opening bars of All I Want for Christmas. Speed back. I was like, oh my God. And we like rush back to the front.
Seeing her sing that live, that would have been worth the ticket price, just that.
It was magical. It was like being in love, actually.
I feel like it would throw me off a bit because we are in October and I'm not ready to be there yet. I'm not there yet, but you have to embrace that moment when it comes.
Any other time I would be like, it's way too early for a Christmas song. But I think like if you've got Mariah in the room,
there.
Like that you have to take that take that opportunity.
And yet still, even with that song, the whole set of hers didn't compare to Mr. Worldwide. I'm sorry. Mr. Worldwide was it.
Wow.
I didn't think we were living in that world.
No. Okay. Well, I'm happy for Pitbull fans that they got their baldy moment. You should, if you're a real fan, you would have worn that cap in today to be on camera. I don't see it.
It's actually my favorite thing, like just seeing, and most of it is women and girls, and I love them just having their moment and being silly. Like I think that's just like the epitome of not dressing for the male gaze.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. A bald cap is not dressing for the male gaze. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, and I think so.
It's probably so not what Pitbull envisioned. He's like, I'm going to have all these hot women fans and they're going to come in these really like hot little outfits to my concert. No, they're going to come bald.
They're going to come as you.
And in the shirts, they must be really comfortable because everyone's wearing flats and those like men's shirts and stuff.
Comfy.
Like how comfortable, and not having to do your hair. How comfortable to go to a concert that way. Pitbull doesn't know it, but he started like a feminist revolution.
And it's around the world.
Yeah.
It's been in UK, in Europe, all of his shows. I've never seen a movement like this.
Yeah.
And they were doing conga lines in the mosh pit.
Really?
The Pitbulls.
I love all the content, like seeing everyone dancing. It's so silly. I also am thinking, this is really like funding the costume industry. How many bald caps have been bought for this around the world?
It's such a great investment for those who got early. So I guess, great to hear that your Pitbull experience worked out the way you wanted. I'd say hope Mariah Carey's okay, but you know what? I'm sure she's doing fine. And she said before, sometimes she just doesn't feel like performing.
And he shouted her out as one of his big, he was like, it's so great to be up here with like little John, Mariah Carey. Like I want to know if they're all hanging out after, like, do they go for a little nightcap?
She's definitely not hanging out.
I feel like she's out.
She's out of
She's
there.
on that plane.
Which is so fair. That woman's been working crazy for like decades now. So I feel like the fact
Pitbull.
that okay.
She's a stand,
but she's doing it in heels.
True.
So I just feel like that's an extra factor. But anyway, I'm glad your Pitbull dreams worked out.
They definitely did.
Okay, so over the weekend we had a fun red carpet pop-up, and this event is actually in its 5th year. It's the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures' big annual fundraiser, and it's really become a big thing in probably like the last 3 years. And what I love about this event is every time it pops up, it surprises everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why is every like single famous person I know all of a sudden on this red carpet that we had no idea was coming, looking like they're about to head to the Oscars or the Met Gala?
That is me. That's me.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed this in the past, but it was all I was looking at over the weekend and seeing these outfits come across. And I just thought, wait, didn't we just have the Met Gala? Like, how are we here?
Yeah, well, I guess like it's only 5 years. So that's very, very like kind of young for an event like this. And I do think it's only the last couple of years that all of a sudden everyone's like all the really big celebs have jumped on board. I guess because it's the Academy, it's like very prestigious. So they've got the guest list so they can roll in. But it also just means that LA actually has something now that, I think they're trying to make it rival the Met Gala a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice cross because with the Oscars, everyone dresses a little bit more formal and conservative because it's not really seen as the place to go all out. And the Met Gala, I think everyone's gone like very over the top artsy trying to get headlines. Yes. So the Academy Gala now has become like a really nice in-between for the dresses.
Yeah, I definitely see that come through, that it's not too out there, but it's still very elegant, and I think it's still sometimes I was looking at the outfits and I feel like that people are dressing for 2 different events. Like I want to know like what the guidelines were.
Yeah. It's kind of, some people were going a bit over the top and some people were a bit more conservative. But did you have any faves? Like, this is a safe space, we can do best and worst.
I was wondering that. I'm like, it's hard when you look at these outfits, which are obviously they're all beautiful, but you're very critical when you look over them.
That's kind of the fun thing, is just like to look at them and kind of like give your like, I don't know about you, you're maybe a bit more of a fashion person than me, but I don't really know anything about fashion. But I do like to have an opinion on a bad dress when I see it.
Yes. I think it's hard as well because I always feel a fondness for the person. Like, one of the standouts for me was Hilary Duff, just because I love seeing her come back into the spotlight. I feel like she's been in the media a lot recently, and she had this beautiful purple and pink dress, and I feel like it had a lot of drama to it. It was like flowing down to the floor, and it just felt very like Lizzie McGuire movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something she would have worn in that movie when she was like dressing up as her like alter
I love
ego.
that. Yeah.
I need to rewatch that movie now.
That movie really holds up. I loved Hilary Duff too, and I love that she's having such a moment with her music coming back. The only thing I didn't love about that, and you know like when you make beauty areas, you recognize it more in other people, that she'd gone a bit hard on the tan. And because then she had the purpley dark makeup on.
Yes.
It was, but then sometimes it just
I didn't notice that.
Well, I think
Did you have a recent tan experience?
Oh, always. My whole life is a bad tan experience. This is why when I see it in other people, I'm like, I get it, girl. Like you didn't. Sometimes I don't realize that I've over tanned until I watch the videos from this podcast back, and like all of a sudden an orange hand will just pop up into view, and I was like, oh no, why did I do that? I also just think sometimes the lights at those events, because sometimes when they take their photos at home, their dress and makeup looks completely different, and then you get there. And like a few famous women have said over the years, like, and then I saw the red carpet pictures and I was like, oh my God, the lighting ruined it for me, which is why they all do those full photo shoots at home now, because it used to be the red carpet shot was the shot, but now heaps of them post their photos that they do professionally at home first, so they can control the lighting, so they can show the outfit the way they want to show it.
I like that.
But
strategy.
obviously I love Hilary Duff, and like a bit of a bad tan's not a terribly bad thing. Okay, an outfit I loved was Jenna Ortega in Grace Ling. She had I don't know if you saw it with the beautiful satin skirt and the breastplate. And she was one of my favorite at the Emmys. I don't know if you saw her. She had that bejeweled top on that was from the movie that looked like, she never officially said this, I don't think, it looks like the corset from the Death Becomes Her movie. Right. And it was just such a standout because it didn't look like anything else that anyone else was wearing.
She always goes for something more unique, which I like. I do love like the breastplate. I love how it looks like molten metal onto her body, but I don't know if I like the skirt.
Well, a few people were saying the skirt, the creases, and I was like, you know what, maybe she didn't want to stand up in an event. Maybe the girl wanted to sit down. She works a lot. But it does look like a skirt that like everyone's got like 20 satin skirts. I feel like it's closet at the moment.
It looks like a Glassons skirt. With this like beautiful top.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like she could have done.
That's what people were saying the Emmys too, because the bejeweled top that she had on, she just did with kind of like a very basic skirt, which I guess you needed. But then I think the model who wore it down the runway had like a really slim cut pair of pants. Everyone's like, sometimes you should just wear the runway look.
Yeah. I mean, they've chosen it for a reason. I feel like even if she had some kind of bottom that matched the top, like that would have been a real moment.
Yeah.
Like I think she still looks stunning. Like she always looks great. And I love that it is like a more unique style and it's different from everything else, because I still want to see like drama at the awards. I think my favorites tend to be the ones that don't just look like a nice elegant dress.
Yeah, same. I don't want understated. I'm like, you're a movie star with access to all like the best gowns in the world. I know there's a lot of favoritism with like who gets a dress, and people have brand deals and stuff like that, so you don't always get to pick your dress. But I do think like it's your job as a famous person to wear the most over the top dress so that we have something to talk about. Exactly. But yeah, I do feel bad for her that that's so crinkled, because again, I don't think it's meant to look like that. But again, maybe she just didn't want to stand up in the car.
I loved Addison Rae's look.
Oh, me too. The Versace.
Yes. I just feel like it looked very like old Hollywood glamour. It had this like beautiful like wavy design, and I think she's just having her moment. We're seeing Addison Rae so much, but I think she's really like leaning into that, and I think she's just so camp. So I just love her for that, and I love seeing her like look all glammed and dolled up. So she was a standout for me for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Everything about Addison Rae fascinates me, because she was, you know, obviously the TikTok dancing girl and had built a huge following. But apart from that, she didn't really seem to have any kind of like star quality. And I know she was talking about kind of transitioning, like when she first got famous, transitioning into acting and singing, but I just actually never saw that for her. But boy, was I wrong, because I mean, and like her movie wasn't great. I don't know if you saw He's All That. It was the remake of She's All That she was in.
I don't think I've seen that. I think I've seen the one where she had the cameo.
Oh yeah, she's been in a few like horror movies. Like she was in that Thanksgiving movie. She's been in a few things, and she's in the new Monster series on Netflix. So I think now she's getting better. Yeah, but her music, like her evolution as a pop star, I am just so in awe of, because she's just done everything right. Like I know straight out of the bat, she hired all the right people, but everything about her look, her music, her performances, everything is just like so correct in how you should like become a pop star.
She's nailing it. And I kind of like don't think there was a point where I didn't think of myself as like an Addison Rae fan, and then I put on her album a couple of weeks ago and I listened to all the songs. I'm like, wait, I love all these songs, and I already know all these songs and I like them. I just hadn't listened to it as a whole album yet.
Yeah.
So now I'm a stan for Addison.
Me too.
Yeah.
And again, an unexpected fandom. And like when I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see this fame for her, but I'm the first to say that I was wrong. And yes, on this red carpet, she's wearing that glittery Versace, but also it's everything about her look like shouldn't work. Like when I was really looking at it, because her hair's that like almost yellowy blonde that like everyone gets told to avoid and no one likes that color. Her makeup's like kind of a bit old school, and then the dress itself could age her, but all of it together just looks like so cool.
I feel like that's very on brand for her.
Yeah.
Like exactly what you just said. Like things that shouldn't work but do when she does them.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything about how she pulls it together. Like on paper, it shouldn't work, but when you see her, you're like, that's just like you're just the ultimate cool girl.
Obsessed.
So loved her. The other dress that I really loved, that a lot of people were ragging on. This was the dress I saw at the top of all the worst dress lists.
Oh,
and I must disagree. It's Zoe Kravitz in Saint Laurent. Did you see?
Oh,
her?
I'm the same.
Yeah.
The
Wait, you hated it?
No, I loved it, and I saw people were ragging on it and saying it wasn't nice. But I loved the shape. I loved the back moment. There were a few shots where like her back is exposed, but it kind of gives like Bridgerton to me.
Yeah, it's just also a silhouette I really never see on her, and that's what I love. So it's like kind of all these like tans and browns, very kind of earthy neutral colors, like a really sort of ruched satin, like big satin skirt, huge sleeves, like
I think it's the
volume.
shape,
Yeah,
which
it's
make
volume
it
top and
interesting.
bottom. Yeah,
and that's what I want to see. And at an event of this scale, like I want to see shapes and silhouettes that I wouldn't usually see anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was just such a departure from how Zoe Kravitz usually dresses. Like she's usually got the slinky black dress on, or she's got like a see-through glittery dress, and like she looks gorgeous in those. But I just love that she tried something different. And the moment she tries something different, all of a sudden she's on every worst dress lift. Just like leave the woman alone.
I loved it.
I know, it says me going through my best and worst of the night. Who else did you have?
I also had Rachel Zegler. I really liked her look. It's this pink gown. She's got the pink gloves, and it was very Marilyn Monroe, Diamonds Are a Girl Best Friend. I actually think comparatively it's the same look to me.
Well, she's like like in her heart, I feel like she's just a theatre kid, like old school Hollywood Broadway kid. So she probably was thinking Marilyn Monroe when she got dressed. It has to be
a throwback to that. I thought that was lovely. I think again, it's the shape and the drama of it, and just really showing up and not just being like a straight plain dress. Like I saw Kendall Jenner's dress, and I just thought, I'm not wowed.
Yeah, I wasn't wowed by either Kendall or Hailey Bieber with the kind of corset look on it. Like again, they both look beautiful because they are beautiful. And I think sometimes like it takes also a while to sort of sit with a look. Like I think Hailey's in particular, she didn't go like the traditional just kind of like basic gown. Like it was a bit more, I don't know. Like a bit
I saw the vision, but I didn't love the execution.
Yeah.
I just felt like it looked like an undergarment, but not in a way that was like cool and fun.
Yeah, I just feel like I'd seen other people. I just maybe expected a little bit more from her.
Yeah.
One more shout out before we get on to the person who stole the show is Viola Davis. I don't know if you saw her in the blue.
Oh, love.
And like the beautiful blue kind of feathering across the top, fitted blue ground, the feathers at the bottom. You see that dress around a lot, but I think she's pulled it off the best.
I love the colour.
The colour. I just every time I see Viola Davis on a red carpet, I'm just like, you are always the best dressed person, but she's not always on the best dressed list.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if we just expect it from her that she always looks amazing.
I don't trust the list.
No, I don't know if I trust the list either. I just feel like they're missing the main person. So the main person of the night did turn out to be one Kim Kardashian who stole the show. What did you think of her look?
I thought, why?
Really?
I mean, I just think sometimes when I see, like, I can see why they're doing it. And like, obviously you want a headline and that's the whole point of it. Yeah. But it did what it was intended to do. You know, like she stole the show with that look. It's what everybody is talking about, and kind of expect nothing less from her at this point.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, oh, good move, Kim. Like I knew that she, like the thought behind it is crazy. So if anyone hasn't seen it, it's almost like a tan like a gown, and then she's got the huge bejeweled necklace on, but it was the fact that she had like a silk scarf wrapped around her face completely, and it's not sheer, so she wears, because I think when she had her face covered for the Met Gala many years ago with the black, she said she could kind of see through, so she could maneuver maneuver into the Met Gala. I know, going up those Met Gala, like every time I go to the Met, I can barely get up the stairs. I'm not in a gown and I'm not wearing anything, it's just like, but they're big stairs. But at this, that wasn't a sheer. I don't know if you saw the photos of her getting there.
Yeah, it looks solid.
She had to have someone lead her around. She could not see her thing. And then when she was getting her photo taken, it's so funny because she's kind of turning her head like she's trying to pose, but she turns to the wall and they're like trying to spin her back around. Like, no, Kim, she's like, sorry, I can't see a thing. So she had her face completely covered.
Now I'm coming around to it.
Yeah,
Just based on that story of her looking around lost.
The head covering really made the outfit, I thought. And I think that's why at the last, because it was a last minute thing, which I didn't.
Yeah.
When I saw her coming down, I was like, oh, she's had this plan for a while because she would have been thinking, I can't just look beautiful because everyone looks beautiful.
And she always looks beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And then she can't just keep like wearing a corset or something like that. Because again, everyone's wearing naked dresses now. So it's not really, you'd have to have like a full boob out to actually get a sort of headline.
Totally.
So I think that was her way to make sure she got all the headlines, which she did. Her photo was everywhere. But I thought it was interesting that she was giving an interview at the event and she said that she flew her longtime hair and makeup team in and they fully did her makeup. So Mario, who has been doing her makeup for years, did a full face, which would have taken like, I think they said last time it takes like 5 hours or something like that. And she had her hair done. And then she's like, I think they're probably mad at me because after all that at the last minute, I decided to put the head covering on and just cover it all up.
I am surprised as well that it was a last minute choice because I don't think the outfit would have like had the same impact without it. Like it's still beautiful. I think she had some gloves or like something on her arms and it all like marries up to like the train of the dress, which I thought was really interesting. But yeah, it wouldn't be the same without the head covering. I think she also made a comment that she'll probably take it off later, which is very relatable.
Oh, I'm sure. She said with the Met Gala when she had her full face cover that she kept that on all night because it was the look. So she didn't eat or anything, which I believe is probably true. But I wonder if she was like taking photos, like because I think it was like a last minute thing, taking photos and the impact just wasn't there. I was looking at the runway shots when that look went down the runway for Margiela and the model had the face covering on. Right. So I wonder if that's like they had picked the look and then just thought we have to have it. But the model in the going down the runway in the original dress also had like completely sheer at the top so you could see her full boobs and nipples. And I was like, so there's all these things that like the dress is meant to be worn like this. And I wonder if when they toned it down, it just didn't look as special.
It didn't look the same because it wouldn't have had that like wow moment.
Yeah. She did a good job because that, again, the photos were everywhere and I think she's past, like she's so famous and gets so many headlines. I think she's a bit past now just looking beautiful. Yeah. It's always like, what's the story going to be?
She probably must have a bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
Do something different.
I mean, that must be nice. Like you could just walk, you just have someone leading you down the red carpet and you don't have to worry about what your face looks like.
Yeah,
You just stand there.
That's like a hack. Maybe next time I can't be bothered to do my makeup, I'm just going to show up with
we'll just wear,
a sack over my head.
Do this podcast with our scarves over our faces. That actually sounds so relaxing. Well, speaking of who was at the Academy Gala, there were two other ladies present, and that was Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez. They both attended the event, but it looked kind of like from the videos that I saw and the red carpet timing that they arrived very, very separately. They weren't photographed anywhere near each other. And that's because they had a bit of an awkward situation on the weekend.
Yes, I feel like this is just the tea that keeps on giving. But what's different this time is it's not speculation. It's comments that have been publicly made on both sides.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, this was, when I first saw this, I thought like, I started seeing like people posting just little clips about it or talking about it. And I thought, surely not. Surely this has been taken out of context. So I went and read the full story, which is a cover story that Hailey Bieber did with the Wall Street Journal for their Innovators issue. And obviously that's off the back of her founding Rhode Beauty, which has become this huge success. And it was mostly about her, because it's the Wall Street Journal, it was mostly about her being a businesswoman and building her company and how she innovates. So it could have been like an amazing coup for her to have this very prestigious cover and to be being profiled as a business owner. And then the journalist who was doing the interview asked what she thinks about Rhode Beauty being in Sephora next to Selena Gomez's brand Rare Beauty. And a few people have raked the journalist over the coals for this and saying that like it was a bit of a kind of, they were trying to instigate drama. And the journalist has said back to a few people that it was more so, it was a fair question because it's her brand against these other brands by female founders, and she wanted to know what she thought about it. And in the article, it says that Hailey Bieber's publicist said to her, like, you don't have to answer that question. Like, we can just move on. But Hailey chose to answer it. And at first, it kind of sounded like she was saying the correct thing and she was saying something that would kind of just simmer it all down. And she's like, I believe there's space for everyone. If she had just left it there, it would have been great. She would have looked like the better person. She would have looked like this benevolent sort of businesswoman and looked like she was taking the high road because she chose to answer the question even though she could have skipped it. And also she was sort of saying like there's space for female founders. But then she took it a step further and she said, and I don't compare myself to people that don't inspire me. Which
unnecessary
just seemed like a wild thing to say. And also I just don't know how that would be taken out of context, how anything, you know how like sometimes you're just like, oh, but if you read the rest of the article, you can see what she meant. But it was like she was saying all the brands around her brand road, she's not inspired by them because she doesn't think that they're kind of worth her time. And that was aimed specifically at Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty brand because that's one the journalist was referencing.
Of course. I think even if it didn't have Selena involved, it's an awful thing to say.
Yeah.
You should be bringing up other women and brands around you. So I thought it was really interesting that that's the way she went about it. And then obviously Selena has seen this and then she has then taken to Instagram in a now deleted Instagram story. She said, leave the girl alone. She can say whatever she wants. Doesn't affect my life whatsoever. It's just about relevance, not intelligence. Be kind. All brands inspire me.
That was so interesting. And she did delete it quite quickly. I think it was only up for an hour or so. But the thing is, it only needs to be up for 1 second.
Yeah, it doesn't absolve you from the fact that you've already posted it.
It only needed to be up for 1 second for everyone to screenshot it and share it. Yeah, this whole thing is wild, mostly because like a lot of the time when these two women get pitted against each other, which they have been for years because obviously Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber were together for many years. There was a huge fandom of people that loved them together.
That was me.
Well, oh, really? Yeah. You were a Selena Justin fan. How do you feel about it now? You're still rooting for those crazy kids to make it work?
I think I've moved on.
Oh, okay.
I think I've moved on.
The correct response. Yeah. That's what I've always kind of defended Selena and Hailey in this because I do think that it just this story that kept getting brought up and kept always sort of this like narrative felt like it was being put on them that they were feuding. I'm sure stuff did happen behind the scenes. Yeah. There's that kind of story that's never been proven, but Selena's kind of alluded to it being true, that she and Justin were kind of getting back together just before New Year's Eve, and then Kendall and Kylie Jenner and I think Gigi Hadid invited her on a trip, so she went with them.
Imagine this being your circle.
I know. Like, this is crazy. Crazy if true, this story. I just want to know if this is true. I won't judge. I just want to know. And then apparently, because they were all out of town, Hailey kind of made a move on Justin, and that's when they posted their first pic together, and Selena felt really betrayed. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's the story. Oh, you think it is?
I think it is. Yeah. I feel like that just sounds like something that would happen. Like we all have a story like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they're not above it.
Yeah, I just think also, life in your 20s, especially when you're rich and famous, would be crazy. But I've always felt this narrative's a little bit pushed on them because Justin and Hailey have been married for so many years now. They've got a child. Selena's now like happily married. She didn't talk about Justin in interviews for decades, even though she would be asked about it. And I always thought it was kind of a little bit pushed on them. And then this feels like they're almost leaning into it. Obviously, they have over the years a little bit. There was that time when Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber looked like they were making a mockery of the eyebrows.
Even when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
It's like
everything about I hate that this information's even in my brain. Like imagine the stuff I could know if I didn't know this.
I think about these things at night.
But I just think Selena's really online in a way. Like she's so aware of what everyone's saying about her. She commented on videos around that saying like be kind to everyone. There was that year where that video of Hailey seemingly dissing Taylor Swift. But it was so many years ago. Like she'd been asked when she was like a kid what she thought of Taylor Swift, and she minds kind of like vomiting. And then that just all of a sudden started recirculating. But it was over 10 years ago and we hadn't seen the full clip. So I was always like, oh, you don't really know what she was saying. But then Selena Gomez commented on that and was like, that's my best friend. She's the best to ever do it. So she is in the weeds of what she chooses to comment on.
Yeah, I think it is. It's sad in a way that they continue to be pit against each other. Like you were saying before, this was such a great opportunity for Hailey to be in Wall Street Journal and have this like profile piece. But the headlines from it is just bringing her back to talk about her husband's ex. Like I can only imagine to keep dredging that back up. Like, oh, this old chestnut again and again and again.
And this is the first time I thought that like they have both really instigated it, which I think is interesting because again, apart from these little moments in time where they have commented on each other, or when Hailey Bieber went on the Call Her Daddy podcast, which was kind of preempting Selena's documentary coming out and saying like she doesn't owe me anything. Even that was kind of like she was talking about it, but she didn't really get in the weeds of it. And then they posted photos together when they went to that red carpet event. So like, it felt like they were trying to sort of calm it all down. But this just feels like they've chosen to bring it back into the public eye.
And the way they show up is so distinctly different from each other. Like I feel like Hailey comes across on the defense and quite aggressive. And then Selena always takes the like more graceful path. I feel like she always shows up as like, she just seems really kind. Obviously that's the narrative she's pushing. So it's interesting how they both kind of take these different sides, but it does feel like they know what they're doing at this point. So I'm interested whether they're just trying to kind of fuel some like light chatter. But it doesn't feel like they're having fun with it.
No, that's the thing. And it's just, again, such an odd choice from two women who have lived in the public eye for so long and are so aware of like how their every word, thought, comment, photo, everything they do is dissected in such a way. Kind of such a strange thing for Hailey to instigate it. And even the way Selena did it, it was kind of like, I'm sure she kind of thought she was maybe like potentially like throwing water on the fire by being like, don't be mean to her, everything's fine. Like there was a way that she could almost come out of it looking like the bigger person, which is why I think she initially posted the story. But also she doesn't comment on every scandal that's out there and everything that's said about her. So the fact that she chose to comment on it then made it a bigger news story.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I feel like everyone has this everyone has that person like maybe like you had an ex and like their new girlfriend or a situationship and you just continue to like check in on them. Yeah. And I feel like Hailey and Selena have that with each other. They're just like keeping tabs. Like I feel like I have like that one person that I just want to see what she's doing. How is she going? And I feel like they're like connected and I wonder if they're like stalking each other on socials at night.
So it just makes me think that there's so much going on behind the scenes that we don't know. Like for so many years in my head, I was like, oh, they don't, even though they have like a lot of similar friends and they live in the same city. I always thought they were kind of like quite separate and it was
like above it and it's just the fans like trying to fuel the drama. Yeah, it was
the fans kind of bringing it up. But now I think there potentially is a lot more happening behind the scenes. Like I wonder if something has happened that like Hailey's heard something that Selena said or something.
This is the docuseries that I need.
Yes, I need someone to find this out. Like all this, where are all the investigative journalists doing with their time if they're not sorting out this mystery? Because I just feel like something's happened and that maybe potentially it happened in the lead up to her doing that interview. And you know, sometimes you just can't keep your mouth shut. Like something had happened to trigger her and she was so upset that she was like, I'm just going to say that she uninspires me in the Wall Street Journal, which is something you can't take back.
I know. Either way, I feel like I'm here for it. I'm here to just continue seeing the drama that it continues to give.
And this is what I always say. Like sometimes you just have to let women hate each other. Like that's just a normal, like not in a bad way, but like sometimes that's just a normal human emotion.
Yeah. And it's real.
Yeah. But I just never want to hear from either of these girls again, just to finish up, Hailey or Selena, any kind of anger from them about people continuing to bring this up or their fans won't let it go because
they're part of it
now the ball's in their court. Like they brought it up.
Yep.